That finale, though. Hello, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. So, guys, I have to talk about that fucking episode. I have to talk about it. There's so much to say that I couldn't just say it all through comments, like replying to comments under the reaction video. If you guys haven't seen my reaction video, then I will link it down below. I did a reaction for the finale. I reacted to all of season 7. Actually, yeah, it's the first complete season of The Walking Dead that I have reacted to from start to finish. So to any of you guys that watched along with me, thank you so very much. To all of you guys that left really lovely comments, again, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Alright, but I have to talk about that fucking finale. The thing with reaction videos is when you guys watch one of my reactions, that is my first time sitting down to watch the episode. I literally sit down and watch it for the first time with the camera on. So, of course, I'm not going to pick up on every detail upon the first viewing. Of course, little things are going to slip by unnoticed. So whenever I get comments from people, like, explaining the episode to me, I'm not going to say it pisses me off, because it doesn't, because I do love hearing other people's, like, thoughts and stuff. But when I hear people, like, explaining the episode to me as if I didn't understand, my reaction is my first initial thoughts while viewing the episode. I usually watch any episode of The Walking Dead around 2 to 3 times. So the comments I pass while watching the episode in a reaction, they're not my overall final thoughts on the episode. So I thought I would do this little video just to break down what I thought about it and to stuff like that, basically. I can't believe season 7 is over. The flying shit, like, that just flew by. First of all, we see Dwight being held in that little cell that Morgan built. Rosita presumably had locked him up there, and Dwight tells Rick and everybody else that he wants Negan dead, that he wants to be on Rick's side. This is very understandable considering Negan, burnt off half of Dwight's face. He married Dwight's wife. He teased him and taunted him, and Negan, you guys know what Negan's like. So Dwight decided he had enough and he wanted to fight along with Rick. He made a little plan with Rick to try and slow down the Saviors. And then when everything went to shit, at the end of the episode, we see that Daryl finds one of the little stick things that Dwight carves, and it said, "I didn't know." So to be fair, Dwight, at the end of this episode, presumably is still on Rick's side. I've loved the character arc that Dwight took this season. Like, I hated him when he first came into the show. You guys know that. I hated him. Hated his guts. But after seeing him kind of struggle with being who Negan wanted him to be, and seeing him completely just give the fuck up after Sherry left, he was just like, yeah, no, fuck this, I'm gonna go and be on Rick's side. It just proves that he was following Negan out of fear, and he was staying with Negan because of Sherry, for fear of what would happen to Sherry and stuff like that. So I really do love the twist that his character took at the end of this season. Poor old Sasha. Oh, poor Sasha. So she was taken captive, and then Negan gave her a choice. He pretty much told her, you stab this guy and join me, or stay in the cell and let him turn into a walker, bite you and die. Now Sasha decided to kill the motherfucker, which kind of in turn led to her being on Negan's side. When we saw her ask Eugene for a way out, when she was crying or pretending to cry, asking him for like a knife or a blade or something like that, everybody presumed, oh, she wants to die. But when we saw that scene of her crying and she was kind of smiling through the tears, it showed that she didn't want to die. She was just planning some stuff, which of course didn't work out because Eugene gave her one of the suicide pills. And then Negan put that plan together where he was going to roll up with her in the coffin and try and make a deal and blah de blah de blah. She agreed to it, and she said only one person is going to die. And we didn't know at the time, but she was referring to herself. There was only going to be one death, and it was going to be hers. While she was in the coffin, I presumed she would have suffocated because, hello, you're in a coffin. She had Eugene's pill still. Bloop! I'm interrupting this video. This is future Kate interrupting past Kate's video. I don't know what that sound I made there was a minute ago either, I'm sorry. Bloop! What the fuck was that? Yes, I'm aware Sasha took the pill. To all of you guys in the comments screaming at me that Sasha took the pill, I get it. Some people are saying it in a polite way. Some people are saying it in not such a polite way, calling me a fucking idiot. Telling me I talk too much. First of all, this is a reaction video. Most reactors don't just sit there staring blankly at a screen. Second of all, she took the pill. I'm aware. I get it. She did go out with a bang like she wanted to. By taking that pill, she kind of did go out on her own terms, and she did go out with a bang, and she went out with a reason. Because like I said, when she comes out of that coffin, and she fucking comes out Thriller style, she gave the group a brief moment of surprise that they could, like, attack. When she tackled Negan to the ground and everything kind of went fucking crazy, she gave them that moment. Instead of turning against her people and turning her back on them, she literally took a pill that would kill her. I cannot say enough about Sasha's character and how amazing she's been over the past seasons, but her death meant something. There's a lot of people getting mad over her death, which I can totally understand. If she was your favourite character, dude, I get it. I get why you'd be heartbroken. But she did go out with a bang and with a purpose. And those flashback scenes we saw with her and Maggie sitting down smiling at each other, I think those flashbacks were both seen through Sasha's eyes and through Maggie's eyes. Because Sasha had that conversation with Abraham where they were talking about how Maggie's the future and the baby's the future. And when Maggie was thinking about just sitting down with... When Sasha was thinking about just sitting down with Maggie and smiling, she was thinking about how she was doing this for her. But at the same time, when we see Maggie and Jesus find Sasha in the woods as a walker and we see Maggie really upset, I think she was kind of thinking back to a time when Sasha was happy as well. And I think Maggie understands what Sasha did. I think Maggie understands what she sacrificed and why. I guess the only positive we can take from it now is Sasha is somewhere more peaceful with Bob, Tyrese and Abraham. But yes, that's it on Sasha. I get it. She took the pill. Stop commenting about the fucking pill. Anyway, that's all. Carry on with the regular video, Kate. So she did die for a purpose like she said she wanted to. All of those flashback scenes with Abraham fucking killed me. We didn't really get to see much of Sasha and Abraham together on the show. So I just presumed that they were like a casual fling, that they weren't exactly in love, if you get what I mean. But when we see those flashbacks, it showed us a lot of their relationship that we hadn't seen before. We see Sasha and Abraham talking and she tells Abraham, I had a dream that you drowned at the beach. And she tries to talk Abraham out of going to this exchange to bring Maggie to Hilltop. Abraham is dead set against it, and Abraham is like, she's carrying her future, we have to do this. Sometimes you gotta put your ass on the line to protect people that you love and all of that. And it's so bittersweet watching that scene because we know as viewers, if she had succeeded in getting him to stay, then he would still be alive. Now that's not me saying it's Sasha's fault at all, because she did do her very fucking best to get him to stay. But it's such a bittersweet scene to see. And to see him, how he speaks to her and how he tells her. He kind of tells her how she's feeling before she says it. So clearly he had a good idea of her personality and what she was like. So they knew each other a lot better than we thought they did. We got to see Carol and Morgan back in fighting mode, which was lovely. It was lovely seeing them partake and pick a side when a few episodes ago they were like dead set against the whole thing and they were like, nah, no killing. It was good to see them kind of come to the realisation that sometimes you have to do shit that you don't like to protect the people that you love, to fight for the better cause. And then we had that whole fucking kerfuffle at Alexandria when Eugene rolled up and fucking tried to talk to Rick, and then Rick tried and failed in blowing up the outside of Alexandria. Well, it was actually Rosita that pressed the trigger. He had all of the scavengers with him, Jadis and all of her people. And when Rosita clicked the button and the explosives didn't go off, Jadis and her people turned on Rick. They pulled their guns on them, and we learned that Jadis was actually in cahoots with Negan. She was on Negan's side. Which kind of leads me to believe she and her people are more than likely the cause behind the disarmed bombs. Those bitches just probably fucked it up on purpose. We had that outrageous scene where she asked Michonne could she sleep with Rick when all of this went down. Wow. We had the war happening. We had like a second really tiny midget miniature lineup with just Carl and Rick, where Negan tells Rick he's going to kill Carl and he's going to take his hands. And then we have that beautiful scene where Ezekiel actually Shiva bursts onto the screen and bites the fucking head off someone. And then Ezekiel comes in, Carl comes in, they all come in, and then Maggie comes in from the other side and everybody starts fighting. And I was like, fuck yes. It was beautiful, beautiful, perfect timing. But we did still see that little bit of bite left in Rick where Negan is eye level with him just after telling him, like, I'm pretty much going to kill Carl and then I'm going to fuck your hands up. Rick still has that savage side in him where he says it doesn't matter. You can do it, but someday I'm going to kill you. Now that did kind of irritate me at first because I was like, bitch, could you get on it sometime, Rick? Could you? But to see that in the fucking face of fear and his child beside him, in Rick's head, Carl was about to die. So to see Rick still be that emotionally strong at a time like that just proves Rick hasn't lost it. He hasn't lost hope. He hasn't gone, like, soft or given up. Which was really nice to see at a time like this. Michonne won the fight with that other blondie bitch. Thank God. I thought we were going to lose Michonne there for a minute. When the whole thing went down with her and your one up on the wall, I genuinely thought, well, she could go. And then when it cuts to the scene where her face is all beat up and she's lying against a wall, she looked pretty fucking dead to me. So when she finally did breathe, we found out she wasn't a walker. I'm not gonna lie, there was a lot of relief going on inside my little head. Towards the end of the episode, we see Negan back at the sanctuary with Eugene, and he says to Eugene, like, oh, like, I wonder how she died. And Eugene says that she could have suffocated easily. That's more than likely what happened. We see Negan have doubt written all over his fucking face. Negan is not sold on that story. He probably has an inkling or an idea that Eugene was to blame, that Eugene had a part to play in it. At the end of the episode, we see everybody getting together. We see all the pieces start to fall into place. We see Maggie, Ezekiel and Rick all standing up on a little podium giving a speech to their people. So they're clearly getting ready for war. They know what the fuck's going on. They're getting their little armies ready, same way Negan is. But to see three leaders come together as equals, to come together and see eye to eye is really nice, because, like, imagine if Gregory had been leader, had stayed leader. If he'd stayed leader, could you imagine him standing up on that podium with Rick and Ezekiel? No, because he was an awkward little fucker. That's another thing as well. I made so many jokes about Gregory and people got like offended in the comments. They were like, I think he's funny. So do I. I thought Gregory was fucking hilarious. He was a character that I loved to like hate, or that I loved to kind of poke fun at and stuff like that. I didn't actually hate the guy. Same goes for Jadis actually. I said a lot of strong words about Jadis in my reaction video. To be fair though, I had cause. She was working for Negan and we didn't know. But yeah, we have that speech that Maggie gave at the end as well, where she said that all of this was set into motion back when Glenn chose to save Rick in, what the fuck's it called? Atlanta. That was when all of this started, and it's true. And I love the way she mentioned Atlanta and then the farm and then the prison. It's like she went back through the story of the show, and it was a lovely little trip down memory lane, remembering how far they had all come together and the things they had already overcome. And we see her holding Herschel's pocket watch, or it was Glenn's pocket watch too, but we see her holding that in her hand like she's doing it for them, like she's doing it for the people that had lost their lives along the way. That was what I took from that scene anyway. But Maggie, character development wise, has come so fucking far. I mean, if you remember her back on the farm, she was still a badass back then. I mean, remember how she spoke to Glenn after they had sex in the pharmacy or in the chemist? He said something to her and she was like, oh yeah, it was a one-time thing, like, get over it. We see that she was pretty fucking headstrong back then. But seeing how far she's come from being the girl who was absolutely sobbing down her face after Herschel died on the lawn of the prison. I mean, that scene, she was sobbing down her face, still shooting a gun, like, to be fair to her. But to see her go from that to the girl who lost her sister. Maggie lost all of her family. Every family member she had, like, they're gone. But to see her go from that woman to the woman who's now standing on a podium addressing a fucking army of people. It's been beautiful to watch, and I'm so happy that she is leader, because I think she will do a fantastic job at it. I hope next season that we get to see more of Ezekiel. We didn't get to see as much of him this season as I would have liked. I really, really love his character, so I would love to see more of him. But this season as a whole, I think it had the perfect balance of like dialogue and action scenes. I loved the standalone episodes, the episodes that were about like Tara or Eugene and stuff like that. I loved those standalone episodes because, like I said in a video before, all of those little episodes that are focused around one particular thing, they come into play at times like this, like in the finale. Do you get what I mean? Every episode counts, but I loved, there was a lot of dialogue going on this season, and like there usually is, obviously it's a TV show. But I mean, like, there was a lot of speaking, and I loved those scenes. Like, I loved the little soliloquy that Maggie gave at the end of this episode. I loved it. I loved it so, so much. But the end of this season compared to the end of last season, the tone is so different. At the end of last season, everybody was hopeless. Everybody was scared. They were crying. They were on their knees in front of Negan. Nobody knew who was going to die. It was a tense moment. Everything was going to shit real fast. At the end of this season, it's like everybody knows what the fuck is going on. They're getting ready for war. They're being taught what to do. Everyone's coming together. They know what's about to happen. Something I loved as well was the mirroring between this episode and the premiere. The premiere, Glenn and Abraham got killed, and it was pretty much about them. And in this episode then we had all the flashbacks with Abraham, and we had Maggie speaking a lot about Glenn. So it was like the season opened and closed with Glenn and Abraham's characters being very heavily involved in the episode, if you get what I mean. I really liked that. It felt like a really, really nice send-off to the two of them. I'm still not used to not seeing Abraham on screen, or Glenn for that matter. But I really do miss Abraham's one-liners. There's probably so much more that I'm like forgetting to say about this season. But that was just my thoughts really on the finale, I guess. Because I wanted to make this video while it's still fresh in my head. What am I forgetting? What else am I forgetting? Yeah, Negan. If you guys have watched my reaction video, I said a lot of things about Negan in the heat of the moment. I fucking love Negan's character. I've said it many times before. He's probably one of my favourite aspects about this season. Actually, my favourite things about season 7 would be Ezekiel, because he has brought so much newness and freshness to the show. So Ezekiel, Negan, because I love the prick. I can't help it. I love him. He's a sarcastic little prick. He is, like, fucked up as all hell in the head. But when you think about it, is he really evil? Is he? Like, a lot of people argue he's pure evil. Is he? We've seen Rick do some pretty fucked up shit in his time, but we've always sided with Rick because we're seeing the show through his eyes. We're conditioned to agree with Rick and to root for Rick. And I do. I love Rick and I want him to fucking win. Whatever challenges come up, I want Rick to win. So we're on Rick's side naturally. But when you think about it, Negan is pretty similar to Rick, and we've seen Rick act a little bit like Negan this season as well. And I might talk about that in upcoming videos. But I love to hate on Negan. I don't even hate him. You guys know what I mean. Morgan's character development this season as well really, for me personally, was unexpected. I kind of had a feeling Carol would go back into badass mode because that's the type of woman she is. But Morgan, I wasn't really expecting it. Anyway, you guys, that is just a few of my thoughts so far. I'll probably do like a more updated version of this video sometime soon. I don't know. But I just said that I would address some things in a video, let you guys bounce back your ideas off of me, so be sure to leave a comment and let me know, what did you think of the finale? Did it live up to your expectations? What was your favourite part of it? And what are you hoping to see in season 8? So that is all for today, you guys. I hope you guys have a great week. Again, thank you so much for watching this entire season, a whole season with me. That's mental now, that's mad. But thank you so much for watching this whole season with me, and what day is today? I would talk to you guys on Friday.